You got to give it to homie. I mean, he be on the scene. We follow him. I take his word on a lot of stuff. He's very, very smart, and we have to listen to the actual professionals that's on the ground. I realize one thing that I am done doing, man. I am done saying that somebody is cooked. When we have these big celebrities in the news and when they get grabbed up and incarcerated or indicted on these major wild charges like the Abercrombie and Finch guy, we got Diddy, we got Dirk. I'm done. I'm done saying somebody is cooked because on one token, we're going to give these guys all this credit for hiring these dream teams. And then we're going to turn around and see a particular update for a case or a trial that may go years for all we know and call somebody cooked. And you know what's going to happen? I'm just going to keep bouncing back and forth. One day I'm going to see a report of 150 civil suits. I'm going to say, Diddy is cooked. Then I'm going to turn around. I'm going to hear this update. I'm going to say, oh, shit, possible mistrial. I'm done doing that. We're just going to play out all the updates as they come. This one right here, very interesting. It leans towards possible mistrials. Now, of course, just because a lawyer goes up there from the defense and says, we want to argue for a mistrial, does not mean that the judge is going to grant that. We've seen that a million times in the YSL case, right? But it also brings into question, will he get bond Friday? Let's take a look at this update right here.
Diddy hearing just ended. This was a very interesting hearing. Definitely a big W for Diddy all around. Diddy's lawyers argued to the judge that there was an illegal search and seizure violating Diddy's Fourth Amendment rights. What the defense argues is there was no probable cause for somebody to go in and start taking pictures of his legal pads because they didn't have a warrant. Then the defense argues that, oh yeah, by the way,
let's just stop right there, people. We got to take that very, very serious. And when you talk about having a warrant for search and seizure, pay attention, people. If this ever happens to you, you need to practice it. You will have police officers that will pull you over on a highway. Sometimes they will actually ask permission, and they'll do it in certain type of ways where they're sneaky and they're manipulative and they act like they're on your side and they're playing nice. Hey, man, I know you ain't got nothing to hide, and I just want to see you get on your way. I know you're heading to a wedding right now, man. You mind if I just take a look at the back seat real quick? Boom. As soon as you say, oh, sure, no problem, because you think he's being nice and he's really trying to get you on your way, you just gave him the green light. You don't need a warrant now. You allowed him in. You opened the door. You said, come on in. You granted him permission. And then another thing, too, if somebody even asks permission, even if you say no or you're quiet and then they continue to do that, people get caught in illegal situations every day, B, but they still get off. Why? You did not have the warrant. You did not follow proper procedure. Hey, man, pull over. Okay, I pulled over. Hey, get out the car for a second. Come sit on the rear bumper. Okay. Let me go search your. What's this right here? What's this Glock switchy we just caught you with right here? All right, put the handcuffs on him. We going to the local precinct. Okay. Call your lawyer. You know, hopefully you make bonds. Fight that case. You show up to court. Why was this man pulled over? Driving infraction or suspicion or swerving. Okay. Did you ask the driver for license, registration, insurance? Police officer? Yes. Did he give it to you? Yes. So why'd you take him out the car? Why did you then also proceed to search the car? I'll tell you a personal situation. I ain't gonna name no names. In that particular story right there, the closest that a detective came to trying to reverse that in front of a judge was trying to say it was an illegal box or like a stash box in the vehicle that the illegal substances or guns or whatever was stashed in. Then you supply the manual to the car. It's not a stash box. This ain't paid in full. You didn't hit the button on the damn car radio and some James Bond shit popped out. It's a compartment that came with the damn truck. Look, standard, stock. That's gone too. Case dismissed. Case dismissed. There's nothing you can do with that. You actually caught the person. That actually isn't a legal gun, or that really is illegal drugs that he's trafficking. But you did it the wrong way, and he's off. He's off. See, I went into that jail. This is Diddy. This is high profile. Y'all probably trying to get your eyes, your ears, and pictures of all types of stuff in his cell. The government's trying to come full press. We don't want another YSL situation represented here in New York. We ain't spending all this money prosecuting this man for him to walk off because he got this dream team with him. We sneaking everything that we can. I want peeks inside of a cell. I want to look at the notepad that he's writing on. I want to see who he's calling. Everything I can. But it still has to be done the right way. And that's where your dream team lawyers come in. It doesn't even have to always be dream team. Good, solid, strong, paid for lawyers, paid for attorneys. They argue this type of stuff on your behalf.
His legal pads are attorney-client privileged communication. So that's another violation on top. Government tried to argue, well, no, we weren't targeting searching him. Instead, we got these papers in our hands because at the MDC, the Federal Detention Center, there were issues with safety and contraband. And so there was a general search performed by the MDC of all of the detainees. And during the course of that, we got our hands on some of these documents.
It's not a very good argument, because if you're searching a prison for contraband, why did you take a bunch of pictures of somebody's notes written inside of a legal pad? Written notes inside the pages of a legal pad would not be contraband that you're looking for to address prison issues.
The other reason that was not a very good argument is the person who took the pictures was not some random investigator assigned to search the BOP for contraband. It was an individual who has been assigned to monitor all of Diddy's communications and phone calls at the prison. So the idea
direct ties to Diddy. You ain't getting in here talking about like, oh no, we just happened to take some pictures of Diddy's notes while we were addressing a jail-wide search for contraband across all prisoners. Get the fuck out. This is what good lawyers do. Okay, cool. You said that it was a search for all prisoners based on contraband. Okay, cool. What's your definition of contraband? What do you got? You got sharpened toothbrush. What do you got? Some porn magazines that ain't supposed to be in here. Maybe got some weed tucked somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's illegal contraband? Right? What's on the list of illegal contraband? Is a notepad with notes on the list of illegal contraband that the prisoners are not supposed to have? Okay, check. Wait, hold on. By the way, who actually went into the cell and took these pictures or confiscated this, which you deemed contraband? Was it just a regular jail person that just goes cell to cell, flipping the cells and flipping beds looking for contraband? Oh no, this person just happened to be the person that's assigned to monitoring Diddy's phone calls and activity and communications. Oh, really? This is what these paid for lawyers do. These are the holes they're supposed to find. These are the questions that they're supposed to ask. These are the holes that they're supposed to punch. Millions and millions of dollars on your legal defense. If you don't see stuff like this happening during the course of this trial, he's not getting his money's worth. Let's be real.
The idea that you're not targeting Diddy with this search and that this was just part of an overall search of the prison, I don't know about that. The judge didn't like that argument either. Well, what do the papers even say? The government argues that this is evidence of paying off witnesses and of trying to dig up dirt on witnesses. The defense argues no. The defense argues that's preposterous, but they don't even want to go there because at the end of the day, these are notes of conversations with lawyers and not something that they can be looking at, period. Defense notes that, look, they're saying, oh, he's trying to dig up dirt on witnesses. Well, if you were a defendant and there was a witness, wouldn't you try to find out all bad information about that witness so you could use that on the stand that, hey, this person is a liar, this person is this person filed this lawsuit over here to get some money. So the idea that somebody's lawyer says, hey, let's investigate a person and find out everything we can about them is somehow witness intimidation is preposterous.
Boy, oh boy, do I know about that from personal experience in multiple lawsuits or even possible lawsuits. It's another thing that lawyers do. It's something that I do on my own. Yeah. You better be clean as a whistle if you're trying to put some shit on Diddy, whether it's true or not. You better. That's why I think a lot of Cassie shit is going to come up during this trial. The fact that allegedly she was a drug abuser. Allegedly, she mutually involved herself in a toxic relationship. Allegedly, at times where she possibly hit him or threw things at him, and it just didn't end up on camera. Allegedly, her partaking in these freak offs and wanting to be with other men and in the orgies and all this type of stuff. You need to paint the character of these supposed witnesses in your favor, right? It's not even just what's public, because sometimes you put some shit on me. There could be a million things that I'm going to spend the next 6 months collecting online about you. I'm talking about shit that you forgot was there, shit that you wish wasn't there, shit that you know, like, damn, I hope he don't come. All of that type of stuff. And then I'm also going to get into the weeds. Me and my lawyer, we're going to get into the weeds, not just what's public, not just what I can possibly go find on Twitter from 8 years ago, or on YouTube from 7 years ago, but also into the weeds of people that you possibly can get information from, get documents from, get text messages from, screenshots from, phone call, all types of stuff, emails from, into the weeds. Now, if I do it, or if I've done it, what the fuck would I expect Diddy's high-priced, multi-million-dollar lawyers to be doing?
With the judge buying a lot of the defense's arguments, the question becomes, okay, let's say the government did illegally obtain these notes. What then? What should happen in this case? They turned that question over to Diddy's attorney. The defense had a couple points. One, they want an evidentiary hearing, because before they ask the judge to issue a penalty for what they contend is a violation of Diddy's constitutional rights, first, they want to actually know exactly the extent of the violation. And the way they're going to go about doing that is they want the surveillance video from the seizure of the records within the jail. And two, they want to get the communications between the prosecution and the investigator who took the photographs. Big picture, defense argues a couple things. One, that this could be a situation where you have to dismiss the entire indictment, or this could be a situation where there's bias on part of the prosecutors, and these prosecutors should not be allowed to continue to prosecute. They should have to recuse themselves from the case. The other big picture, you have a shot at bond. The bond motion is coming up on Friday. And given that now you've got the judge a little bit on your side, questioning the integrity of the prosecution, questioning whether he can really take everything the prosecution is saying at face value, you might have a shot at bond. The judge has set a briefing schedule. So each side is going to submit briefing and arguments on whether this was an illegal or legal search and seizure, whether this was a violation of the attorney-client privilege. And if so, what remedy should there be? Should there be a hearing? Should the defense get the right to review the surveillance footage? All of those issues are going to be briefed, argued before the judge, and a decision will come out on that in the coming weeks. Diddy here.
We got some breaking news also I'm going to bring up on the screen in a second. That's crazy. How fast tides will turn side to side, side to side. Prosecution, defense, defense, prosecution. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I mean, the man obviously wants to make bond. To think that a prosecution's mistake will be the reason why he gets bond, will be the reason why the judge starts to look at things in certain lights and say, how much can I trust you? Now I got to hear out possible mistrials and whatnot. And I looked up the definition of a mistrial. We know like what a mistrial really means, but just by Google, actual dictionary definition, a trial rendered invalid through an error in the proceedings. That's what a mistrial is, period. We have to remember, people, proceedings, this whole process involves him being jailed. It involves him possibly being out on bond. It involves discovery. It involves indictments. It involves possibly superseding indictments. It involves witnesses. It involves phone calls. It involves all types of, that's all part of it. And if you step on the legal process in any of those areas, a lawyer might step up front to the judge and say, mistrial, problem, incorrect, abuse, violation of rights. And that's what they're paid to do. Once again, like, that's what they're there for. And some of that shit, it really is just. It's like, the fuck you expect? Like, yeah, okay, you might got me for some shit. The world might think I'm guilty of some of this stuff, but you got me jailed going through a legal process with the government. If you violate, you're the government. You're supposed to be upholding these laws. If you break some of them, if you bend some of them, if you lie on some of them, what does that make you look like? I'm bringing that to the table. So here's your breaking news. This is, I believe, within the last couple of hours. Speaking of what happened with this evidence that was confiscated from Diddy's jail, this is where the judge leaned.
Sean Diddy Combs, the judge in the sex trafficking case, ordered prosecutors to destroy several pages of handwritten notes obtained in a raid at the detention center where Combs is being held.
Damn.
Senior investigative correspondent Aaron Katursky is here with the details. Good morning, Aaron.
Good morning to you, George. When federal prosecutors accused Sean Combs of witness tampering and trying to influence potential jurors, they cited potentially powerful evidence that the defense argues they never should have seen. And now the judge says, at least for now, that evidence cannot be used.
If you use my approach, you can dock both.
This morning, a legal victory for embattled rap mogul Sean Diddy Combs as he fights federal sex trafficking and racketeering charges. The judge ordering prosecutors to destroy their copy of 19 pages of Combs's handwritten notes obtained in a recent jailhouse search. Combs flashed a big smile as he entered court Tuesday, grinning and hugging his lawyers, and for the first time, the judge allowing him to appear without shackles around his ankles. Diddy's lawyers argued his jailhouse notes are protected by attorney-client privilege. Prosecutors said the notes suggest Combs was paying off a potential witness, his former Diddy Dirty Money bandmate, Kalena Harper. Harper had been mentioned in a civil lawsuit by bandmate Don Richard, but prosecutors said after at least 128 phone calls and text messages with Combs, Harper posted on Instagram that Richard's account should not be interpreted as a universal truth.
Combs, of course, has pleaded not guilty to criminal charges, and prosecutors said this alleged witness tampering is reason to keep Combs locked up. But the judge said he would now not even consider the notes when he decides whether to release Combs on bail. Bail hearing, guys, coming up on Friday.
Bail's still a long shot, isn't it?
It sure is. The way he's charged presumes detention, George.
Okay, Aaron, thanks very much.
Protected by attorney.
So, when you talk about evidence being destroyed, the judge ordered the prosecution to destroy the notes. It's a wrap. They did these raids. They ran into the cells. They grabbed what they were after. And then the judge orders them to destroy it. To me, when you have a jury trial, right? When you're judged by a jury of your peers, how do you get that type of evidence in front of the juries or the jurors, even if it's not allowed or it's not proper? And in this case, it's physical evidence, which is now ordered to be destroyed. You say it, right? You still say it. You see when a lawyer will say, well, technically, Cassie wasn't supposed to be there with her legs spread neither, right? Objection, objection. We said that we wasn't going to say the name Cassie. Like, that's a rephrase that. Okay, I'm sorry. Defendant XYZ isn't supposed to be sitting on the rug with her legs wide open in that particular night, right? That's how they be doing that shit. You can't erase it from the jurors' ears and from their memory. They still get to say, oh, so that mystery person is Cassie. The lawyer will take that, getting reprimanded. They'll take that slap on the wrist in those moments, but they're getting it into the court. They're getting it into the jurors. Now, this is physical evidence, though. This is like a notepad that they're talking about. So if there's something on there that you still want to get in front of the jurors, you would have to do something improper, I assume, and just say it and get your slap on the wrist. But that comes with risk. We'll see prosecutions take all types of opportunities to try to bend the rules or to try to get a one-up on a defense. And sometimes that plays against them as well. A good defense, you see Brian Steele there, he'll stand in front of the judge for an hour calling out all of the foul shit that the government or the prosecution or the DA has done. And the judge will just sit there and just like, damn. Yeah, that's wrong. That's wrong. Shit, I'm to the point where I'm mad at that too. Yeah, that's wrong. You wasn't supposed to submit that type of evidence. That was too late for that. You didn't get that in front of the proper people for review before you brought it into court. Oh yeah, why the hell was you having a conversation in private chambers with this particular? Yeah. So play the dirty game as you play it, but the chips are still gonna fall how they're gonna fall. That's the moral of the story here. Like the government will play a dirty game. Who the fuck trusts the legal system and the government 100%? No, they want their man or woman. And sometimes they'll do whatever it takes to put that person behind bars or to get some type of conviction. Okay. So this is a big win for Diddy. And like I said, I'm done jumping out the window, calling somebody cooked when they got 20 fucking Johnny Cochrans with them. We're just going to continue to watch it all play out.
Don't confuse silence with work ethic. I'm a boss, making decisions my first fetish. The verse cherished is perfect, that's a reverse blemish. I dropped it, connected the block, learn Tetris.
This is the Sorry It's True podcast. Welcome to the house of. And shout out to the members.
I think still got a gun.